Hey guys, it's Carly from All the Pretty Books, your place for all things Harry Potter, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. So pretty much since I've been doing Instagram, YouTube, my website, and a little bit on Facebook, I get asked quite a few questions about collecting Harry Potter books. So what I'm going to do today is answer your questions. And stay tuned for a giveaway. Geetum Bansel asks, how do you get products that are available for delivery only in a particular country or area and not in your area? Basically, Geetum, and I'm sorry, I'm probably not pronouncing your name properly, but basically, I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of friends all over the world. I'm usually able to ask one of them to help me out, and if they can't help me out directly, they usually know somebody who can. And if I don't have people in those exact places, I know people who have people there. So it's actually kind of cool. It's like this giant collector network, right? Made up of Harry Potter people. They just want to help out other Harry Potter people. It's been the best. I've met the best people doing this. I say this almost every video, but it still is very true, even if I do oversay it. I've met the best people doing this, and that is how I've actually been able to get some of the harder to find things. Florine Lambert asks, how do you find them? I guess meaning like my books or maybe my collectibles. How do you find them on the internet? Is there a network of collectors who trade all the books? So basically, I find my stuff everywhere. You have to think outside the box, especially if you're looking for the harder to find things. You have to think outside the box. You have to think about, local selling sites. You have, flea markets, secondhand bookstores, especially for the books, which is what I really do. Secondhand bookstores, email lots of people, and you'll get some weirdo responses. We all have. But you have to do it if you're looking for the really hard to find things that are in, like the Nepali translation of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That is a very hard to find translation, not only because it's in Nepal, but when it was originally published, they wanted to sell it to Kathmandu, but they also wanted to reach the rural Nepal settings because they wanted to get and encourage readership of Nepali language in young rural Nepali people. So it's in really harder to reach parts of Nepal as well. Is there a network of collectors who trade books? Yes. I've owned several books. Actually, several books that are in my collection have been owned by other collector friends of mine, and vice versa. And sometimes, as weird as it sounds, I'll text somebody and be like, kind of think about trading off this guy right here. Send them a picture of a book. What do you want it? Do you have anything you want to trade? I'm just kind of, it's a really cool book, but I would like to add something different in place of it. And so sometimes we trade books that way. And some of the books that I've got in my collection, yeah, certainly I've paid for with books rather than, money. The Lego Bros, I love your name. The Lego Bros asked, how many books have you collected of Harry Potter? I've not counted recently because I just haven't. There's a lot of new stuff that's still coming in, and I've got to buy more bookshelves because that's the story of my life. If I had to guess, it's probably between 1,000 and 1,100, maybe over 1,100 by this point. Lord Gonk, and I think I wrote the name down wrong, so I apologize if I did, and I can't actually read my own handwriting, so that's my problem. Anyway, most and least favorite Harry Potter Lego set. Well, I'm very new to Harry Potter Legos. I'm very, very new to Harry Potter Legos. In fact, the Diagon Alley set, which I'm still putting together because I'm very slow apparently, so I don't really have a least and most favorite. They've all been really, really fun. I think the most favorite for me would have to be the Night Bus set, simply because that was a gift from a friend, simply because he wanted to give me a gift. It was just, you're my friend kind of thing. And so that's very special. That's up on my shelves back up there. The Diagon Alley set I'm really enjoying, but it's a lot. It's very intense and it takes a lot of my time to put together. So I won't say that's my least favorite, but I will say it's the most intense. Jennifer asked, aside from books, what's your most favorite Harry Potter thing to collect? And that's Funkos. I love, love, love Harry Potter Funkos. I didn't mean to, and I don't want to, if I'm being super duper duper honest, because they take up time to buy, they take up room on my shelves, and they still eat up funds that honestly I wouldn't mind putting toward books, which is really ultimately what I do. But they're so precious. Gun asked, and again I apologize, I'm probably not saying your name properly, if I've read all the Harry Potter books, and I have many times over. You know, I reread this series at least once a year, and I've heard this series on top of rereading the physical books. I have them on Audible as well. I also have a few of actually I have the full 7 in French too. The Wizard's Vault asks, where do you get all the money from, and how much do you spend on the books? Well, typically my collection has had to fund itself. I'll buy and sell signed books, but my collection comes from buying and selling things. Like actually very recently, over the weekend, I had a signed book that I really wanted. I just bought it, and then something really rare came up, and it's on its way here. I can't wait to show you guys. But anyway, something really rare came up, and I had to turn around and sell the signed book that I just got in. Speaking of selling things, I actually have a shop now that's open on my website, and I will be adding more books as the time goes on. There's I think 6 up there now, and I'll be adding more. And as far as how much I spend, you just have to have a budget. Harry Potter Book Lover had a very good question. They ask, how do you understand if you are paying the correct price for an old edition? Okay, so basically, how do you know the market is how I'm reading that. And it takes time. Learning the market, learning the values of books or whatever market you're in, whether it's Beanie Babies or for old things or collectible glass, China dolls, cars, whatever it is that you're in, learning the market takes time. As far as understanding that you're paying the correct price, if you're just new to collecting, you have to understand that sometimes you're gonna overpay. You also have to understand that even collectors who've been collecting for a long time, such as myself, sometimes we'll still overpay to get something that we've been looking for a long time, just to get it out of the way. As far as understanding where the market values are, you have to talk to other collectors. We pay attention to, and we sell things. A lot of the collectors, such as myself, the Potter Collector, Adam Houston, the Ravenclaw Seeker, and many others of us, we also sell things. So selling things gives us the advantage of knowing what things sell for. And if you know the price of what things sell for, you know the market. And right now values are trending upward. They have been for the past couple of years because demand has gotten higher. We've had an influx of new collectors come into the marketplace, and they all want the same stuff that we've all been collecting for the past couple of years. So demand is higher. Prices go up to reflect the demand. Something else that's very helpful is looking on eBay sold listings. Don't look at what is listed for sale. Anybody can take anything and list it for any price. Back to what I was saying, go check out eBay sold listings, and you'll get like a 3-month snapshot of what things are selling for. You can check what sold for highest, and there's going to be some anomalies. Like sometimes you'll have people that'll spend like $1,000 on a book club edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which if you've been watching me for any length of time, you'll know book club editions are really only worth about what their readability is, meaning like $10 to $20. So somebody drastically overpaid. But as long as you're aware of that and kind of know that they overpaid for that, that's not an indicator that that book is that valued that highly. It's just kind of weird and sad that somebody spent their hard-earned money on something that's not worth it. But you can certainly look to see what things are selling for there. And it's the what it has sold for price that helps determine market value. And when in doubt, you can always ask a question. And Aditya, and again, I'm probably saying your name incorrectly, but is a newer collector and has peppered me with all sorts of wonderful questions about where to begin, what to collect, and what to buy, and where to buy. Where to buy, I've already kind of answered. If you're looking, you can check, eBay, Amazon, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's Craigslist. There's so many secondary marketplaces you can check. Local websites, book dealer websites, so many to check. So as far as where to begin, if you're a newer collector, where to begin is, honestly, that question is determined by yourself or by you. And I get asked, where to begin quite a bit as far as collecting. And just like everybody, I just started collecting. Originally, when I started collecting, I was like, I'm going to collect screen used Harry Potter movie props. And I did that for about 6 months. Then I realized I didn't care enough about them to continue, and there was a lot of fraud there, and I was too green or too new to know how to wade through it all, and I didn't have anybody who knew it well enough to help me either, so I just kind of hopped back out and jumped right over to books. And almost immediately after doing that is where I met Peter, along with another collector that I've known this whole time. As far as where to begin, that's a very personal question and really depends on what it is that you want to collect. If you want to do rare and signed things, start with buying a rare or signed thing. Just know that there's probably a greater cost involved, right? My heart, I love rare and signed things. That's what I gravitate to. Yes, I do translations. As you can see all around me, they're everywhere. But rare and signed things still have my heart. If you want to do translations, start with translations. If you want to do first editions, start with that. If you want to do first prints of the first editions, start with those. The Sorcerer's Stone first print first edition isn't too expensive of a buy-in comparatively, especially comparatively to the Bloomsbury books, right? So it just depends on what it is you want to collect. As far as what to collect, I just answered that. It's kind of the same question as where to begin. And again, it depends on what it is that calls to you. If it's translations, again, start there. If it is different cover art, start there. There's so many different ways to go about this. It depends on what it is you want to do. Which editions and translations to buy? Again, that's all up to you, right? And I get asked this question quite a bit, like what's a good translation or edition to buy? And good is very relative to what it is that's good to you, because what's good for me isn't necessarily good for anybody else I know. Some cheap or budget books. Well, if you're gonna do translations, the French translation, there's a French translation that's all over the place, all over eBay and Amazon. You can buy those for roundabout, between €5 and €20. Okay, there's more expensive French editions, of course, but the main first edition French, I believe, is fairly easy to find, and you can buy those fairly cheaply. Same with the very first edition German, not the first print, that's harder, but the first edition German, you can buy for about the same cost, right? Tips for book collecting. Well, it goes back to research, research, research. I can't say that enough. And in fact, when I decided I wanted to start collecting Harry Potter books, like I said, I just met Peter, who we now know as the Potter Collector, and so I just started peppering him with questions. I have this still in my archived emails. I don't know if he still has it, but I do. This super long email chain that talked about, where to buy, what to buy, these are good people to buy from, this is a great price for this book, this is a great condition for this book, oh my goodness, look at this lovely signature, these are forgeries, and talked about interests and why, and just a super long fun email chain where we really got to know each other and we actually became really good friends in the process. But research, I go back to that research, ask collectors who have been there a while, questions. Most of the time we don't mind helping you, right? And just, again, think about what it is. What do you want to build your collection around? Which is more trustworthy, eBay or bookseller sites? And honestly, you'll find crap in both. I hate to say that, but it's true. You'll find forgeries in both bookseller sites and eBay. And as far as what's more trustworthy, they're all about the same. I can't say it enough. You really, really, really have to know what it is that you're buying. If you're going to do signatures, you have to really research. There's a lot more forgeries than authentic in the marketplace, and certificates of authenticity, even by reputable third-party authentication houses, don't really add a lot of credibility. I've seen them pass forgeries, and I've seen them fail authentic signatures. So you just have to know what it is that you're buying. I can't say that enough. How to start a collection, and there's really no wrong or right way to do so. I mean, if you want to collect Harry Potter pop sockets, collect Harry Potter pop sockets. If you want to collect Harry Potter merchandise or Harry Potter mini backpacks, Loungefly Harry Potter mini backpacks, you can honestly do anything. You can collect anything, right? It usually depends on what parameters you set, right? Like what guidelines you've set for yourself as far as how or what to collect. That's how you go about it. That's how I go about it. And it can change. Like I said, when I first started collecting Harry Potter books, it was rare and signed things only, which meant I didn't buy any of the translations even when I found them in the wild, and they were a lot better priced when I found them in the wild than when I had to buy them later, because that did happen. And then I decided I wanted to do the translations, and then I had to go back and start buying translations too, and kind of stop buying as much rare and signed things. Something had to give. And what about buying books with expensive shipping, where sometimes the shipping is more expensive than the book price? Guys, I just did that like right before I made the video, okay? I found a book that typically costs, when I've seen it, I typically see it for about 50 to 100 euro. And then the shipping is, you know, coming from Europe to the United States, so it tends to be about 25 euro. And I found it for 19 euro plus 25 euro shipping. Well, it was a no-brainer, right? Even though the book price was much, you know, or was less than the actual shipping cost, it was a good price for the book. I went ahead and purchased. I hate to pay a lot of shipping, but sometimes it's what has to happen, especially when you're doing translations, right? Or like in the United States, some of my very rare and signed books have to be shipped from the UK. They're not here because most of the rare, like super duper rare, and most valuable Harry Potter books that, you know, I really enjoy collecting come out of the UK, meaning I have to pay someone to ship them. So you have to look at the shipping as part of the overall cost of the book, though. You can't just say I paid 19 euro for the book. I did not. I paid a total of about, you know, 19 euro plus 25 euro. I'm not going to do the math, but that is the total cost of the book. That's still not a bad price for the book, considering that most of the time it typically sells for about $120 plus. So there's sometimes reasons to do that. And if you're going to do the translations, paying shipping and sometimes paying a lot of shipping is just a part of it. And I hate to say that, but it's true. And for the giveaway, I have these two Harry Potter capsules, and they're two different characters. I know they are because I've opened them. I've checked them out. They're really precious. And I want you guys, there'll be two winners. So one winner will get this guy, one winner will get this guy, and they're both really great. And speaking of giveaways, I'm inching my way closer to 10,000 followers over on Instagram. So when I get to 10,000 followers, I'm going to be giving away, among other things, a $100 Amazon gift card. Okay, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and go check that out. If you don't have Instagram, I really do recommend it. There's a great there's a great community of Harry Potter people. I have made some of my best friends. Even friends in real life through Instagram. So if you're not there, go check it out. We're actually a lot of fun. If you have any questions about collecting Harry Potter, don't hesitate to ask, and I look forward to talking to you really soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that subscription bell to stay up to date on all my videos. And with that, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and very super happy collecting, and good night.